Hello Aquarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading for the week of the 18th to the 24th. Okay, so first card out is the Four of Swords. And the Four of Swords does indicate, a period of inaction, okay, a period of introspection, reflection. What I do sense with this card here is if you look at it, it does indicate a great deal about ascension. Okay, so like ascending onto like a higher level, higher vibration, even kind of like out of body experiences. So a lot of you might be undergoing like spiritual awakening, spiritual like even having like epiphanies, okay, and having dreams and having just I guess like realizing a lot about yourself through dreams or through like coincidences in life. Okay, it's a very spiritual card indicated in this deck. And the picture itself indicates to me that, love, I guess like even romantic love is kind of like something that a lot of you might be wondering about. So what I do sense here is innately you want that ultimate love, but at the same time, you love yourself a little too much at this point. So then you know that you deserve a lot more, so you're not going to settle for love, okay? So this is like having a very spiritual, a very detached way of looking at love relationships, how you fit into a relationship with another person, and how you can retain your own sense of, I guess, self-love and your own sense of identity, even in relationships. Okay, so this is basically retaining yourself and rather than losing yourself and merging yourself fully in the relationship, which can be good or bad. Okay, so keep that in mind. But what I sense here is we do have the swords in the background. So at the heart of it, I do feel that a lot of you have gotten out of pretty painful relationships. And at this point in your life, you're kind of like going through a period, excuse me, of self-preservation. So you are very, your heart is still very fragile. It hasn't, I would say it's healed, even based on the main reading. It's healed, but you're still in a delicate phase right now, okay? So you're not really willing to give it away. However, your hands are on it. So I do feel that somebody is coming in for you to basically pique your interest, and you're going to have to make a decision about whether or not you want to expose your vulnerability, okay? So self-love is not a bad thing, but it is important to really live your life to outside of your head. So, the sword energies indicate in general that it is a mental type of situation that you are grappling with at the heart of the matter, okay? What is crossing you here is the Seven of Coins. And in this situation, it is about both parties contributing to the greater good of a union, okay? So it could be in a work environment, it could also be in a love relationship or in any type of an interpersonal relationship that you are going to encounter this week, okay? So it is at the heart of it, it is about balance. But at the same time, I do sense here is with both of these cards, they do indicate like this is ascension here. And in this card, the heart is buried. So what it tells me is that sometimes the words don't need to be said. It's felt between two people, okay? So for those of you who have like a very strong bond, a very strong like even spiritual or even like a psychic connection with another person, even though they're miles away, you are still feeling whatever it is that they're feeling, okay? So the bond itself cannot be severed. The bond itself can't be broken easily. And ultimately what it is the other person is kind of like your other half, all right? So it is Mercury in retrograde, okay? So we are not at all thinking that clearly. So if those of you who have left behind like just a really toxic work environment or even like a love relationship, just know that this energy is coming in to test you, to test whether or not that situation was meant to be in your life, okay? So have a very realistic view, or just have enough discernment to know whether or not it was right for you. But I do sense that it was a situation in the past. I do feel that it was a situation in which the love was buried. It was buried underneath the mundane things that we encounter in life, like even arguments, even work, and even our hectic schedules, okay? So there was time to rack up these financial resources, but at the heart of it, the love was buried deep. Okay, so this is something to grapple with for this week. And I do hope you have enough insight to, realize if it was meant to be or not. And obviously, the energy is coming back in this week as a test of your resolve more than anything. Okay. In the distant past, yeah, it's so be careful with this. In the distant past, we have the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords indicate, sailing on from a troublesome situation from the past, and you're getting to this point now where you are ascending, okay? So what I am sensing here is, yeah, this situation is going to cycle in as a test, okay? And for those of you who are not dealing with like, old energies coming in this week, what I do sense is that you are very focused on, creating that nest egg and trying to build a future for yourself. And you're building a future and you're trying to figure out, how another person that is not in your life yet, how another person can fit into the lifestyle that you've created for yourself. Okay. So that's for those who are not dealing with this as a past energy, or who's not like dealing with past energies circling back in. What's coming in for you is the Ace of Cups in the reverse position. So it can be a little bit problematic if you are still dabbling with situations from the past. Just know that it's not going to give you a good outcome, so move forward, okay? What is crowning you here is the Five of Cups, okay? So the Five of Cups in the reverse position does indicate that, a situation has happened. It's kind of regretful that it happened, but at this point, it doesn't surprise you anymore. It's kind of like you've been there, done that. And, like despite it happening and, despite the people around you kind of like in awe that it happened, it just doesn't surprise you. So at this point, you're not really shaken by it, okay? You're just going to accept it for what it is because it has happened in the past. So you're no longer, the element of surprise is just, not there anymore, okay? So if you're dealing with somebody who is very flaky and they flake on you again, you're not surprised. If you're dealing with a person who, says one thing and they just, they promise one thing and they don't deliver, you're not surprised. As for something in your environment that you're not aware of, I do have here the Ace of Swords, okay? So this is problematic in all relationship dealings, on the work front as well as, in interpersonal relationships. And it does indicate to me, lack of information, lack of disclosure of the truth. This can be from you or this can be from another person. And what I'm sensing here is because it is a sword energy, you're not being discerning enough. And what I do sense here is that we have like a circular pattern. If someone is doing that, it is best to just leave them behind for good, rather than have them come into your life, even though you know that, they're not capable of living up to your expectations. If someone is not able to do that, then just, leave them out of your life for good because you don't want that energy blocking new energy from coming in. And what I do sense here is that there was like miscommunication. There was like a sense of like withholding information from the past. This can be from you or from the other person, okay? So if you're not happy with this behavior, you really need to get to the root of it, okay? Address it, call the other person out on it. Don't be passive in this situation. If you are involved with another person in which somehow you both are like financially linked, it is very important to get this out in the open, okay? As for the advice that is coming in here, we do have the Justice card, okay? So it is corroborating the same theme. So relationships is all give and take, and both parties need to be involved. Both parties need to be aware of whatever it is that is going on. If it's on the work front and you're shouldering like a lot of the responsibilities and the people around you are not carrying their weight, I do feel that that balancing act is not going to be contained. Okay, it's going to get out of hand. So you might be in a situation where other people dump responsibilities on you, and then you become really resentful. If it's not happening to you, and it's happening to like another person that you work with, in which you're kind of like reneging on your responsibilities, this information is this situation is going to like be off kilter, and this situation is going to require somebody addressing it and getting to the heart of the matter, and exposing like I do feel that words will be thrown about, okay? So, in order to rectify this injustice, basically. So, the balancing act is a delicate, delicate process. So, make sure that you are not shortchanging yourself and that you're not doing the work that other people are dumping on you. So, make sure everyone carries their weight, okay? As for your external environment, okay, this is the Queen of Coins. So this is somebody outside of yourself. This is an energy or something that you're dealing with. Somebody who is a little bit self-serving, well, kind of a lot self-serving, someone who's very self-serving. And they're not carrying their weight, basically. They're looking out for number one. So yeah, as an external energy, this is going to be problematic because in what I'm looking at this card, she or he is not aware of, anybody outside of themselves. They are very preoccupied with their own needs, with their own desires, and even they're very guarded. So they are not like looking at the whole picture. Okay, they don't really see how their actions affect other people. It's almost like they think they live in a bubble, so they're not really aware of this, okay? And even the smartest people, even like the most emotionally mature people, sometimes they suffer from this. So I don't feel that this person is aware of it. So if you can have a discussion, it is important to get this out. And ultimately we see that this person, they like animals. They care about other people, they care about things. It's just in this situation that you're dealing with them in this capacity, they're kind of clueless about how they affect you. So this needs to be addressed, but I feel that in a delicate manner, because they're not really aware of this. So when this situation is brought to light, it's going to enhance their awareness. So, approach this in a nice way, because they mean well, okay? Even though it is in the reverse position, I feel that it can be fixed. Okay, so in terms of your hopes and aspirations, we do have sorry about that. Sorry about the cutoff in the video. You like to take care of people, and but innately, you want things to be fair as well, okay? You are a fixed sign, and you have like a innate sense of I wouldn't say balance, but it's just, like personal responsibility, okay? Everyone has to carry their weight, or, the people that don't should not reap the benefits, okay? It's just the way things are. And that's something to keep on top of. So you might be in a situation where it's stirring a lot of anxieties from the past regarding, fairness and compensation. So this is like financial payout based on merit, based on a job well done. So you feel that some people are not deserving of it, and that you should get the monetary gains because you are putting a lot of the legwork, okay? As for the outcome, okay, we have the Empress and the Nine of Swords, okay? So the Nine of Swords here does indicate somebody who is, it's kind of like a situation in which you kind of have to take a breather in order to recoup your strength and your resources and see, how you can proceed, okay? So in the reverse position here, it does indicate to me that, the balancing act, the karmic, the karmic scale is going to be tipped a little bit too much to one side for this week. So be very careful of like that explosive energy. When you get mad, you tend to get very upset, okay? So just be very careful about this, and just rein it in. And like I said, I don't believe the other party means any harm. They're just kind of clueless. So give them the benefit of the doubt. I do feel that this person, they have a lot going on in their life. So they're not really like aware of other people. It's not that they're selfish or anything like that. They are capable of, great acts of generosity. But at the same time, I do feel that, there's something that they're trying to recover from. It could be an illness. It could also be like a situation in which they're just kind of like, they're going through a funk. They're going through a funk. Okay. So just wait for them to snap out of it so that you can restore this balanced relationship, okay, or this balanced work environment, or whatever capacity you're dealing with them in. I do sense that ultimately they mean well, okay? So try to fix it and try not to let this get out of hand, and, keep your emotions in check, okay? And the other outcome card I have here is the Empress. So you're going to be a little bit frazzled. The Empress, to me, it indicates somebody who's very just. Okay, so the Empress and the Emperor are like the feminine and masculine energy of the ruler, okay, the leader. With this in the reverse position, I do feel that in this situation, you are going to like, they're going to upset you to the point where you're just like, okay, I just don't want them to get compensated in any way because they're not doing the work. And you know, while that's the right thing to do, because I feel that it's the right thing, um, it can be problematic because they're just going through a phase right now. Okay, so when you are yourself are going through a phase, you want the other people to be understanding around you. So you know, tread lightly this week. Things can get out of hand very quickly. Words can be exchanged, and then you know things can escalate very, very quickly. So keep your emotions in check, and especially just try to avoid people that you've had bad run-ins with in the past, and you know just really keep things into perspective. Okay, I don't feel that you're going to have that problem, but if you cross paths with them, you might exchange like harsh words, and you might say things that you don't mean. So be careful with this energy. Okay, so stay calm this week. So I wish you, you know, a happy weekend, and thanks for watching. So just keep yourself calm, okay?